Welcome to the Midwest. My name is Jesse, and today we're talking about hypoxic training. What is this thing called hypoxia? What is hypoxic training? Let's talk about it today. Welcome to the Midwest. My name is Jesse, and today we're talking about hypoxic training. And hypoxic training is basically you probably have heard of it, maybe you've not heard of the phrase or the term, but hypoxic training is low oxygen training. So anytime you hear about people going out into the mountains to train at high elevations, they are doing hypoxic training. There's a lot of different ways to do it, and you might have been in the gym and you might have seen a person with one of these masks on that forces them to breathe in a certain way, that essentially their goal, and you may know their goal is to become to improve the respiratory system. Well, that is a form of hypoxic training, so low oxygen training, making the body adapt to lower amounts of oxygen than it really wants. And there's a lot of different ways to do it. Like I said, you can go to the mountains, you can live up really in high altitudes. There are certain chambers that you can sleep in, or certain chambers that you can just spend time in, and you can get this kind of an effect. There's a lot of cyclists, a lot of athletes that do it, but there's also a lot of other ways to do it. And one is the mask. Another way to do it is breath work. So there's a few different kinds of breath work that are working with hypoxia. Hypoxia being a state of low oxygen in the blood. Now, normally we don't want to be hypoxic. If you're suffering from hypoxia, just walking around on a just everyday thing, then you are most likely, there's probably something wrong with you. There's probably something wrong with your heart, your circulation may be bad, something's wrong in general. So that's why every time you go to the doctor, they put that thing on your finger, right? And that's basically checking to see how much oxygen is in your blood. And it's a pulse oximeter. You can get them for very cheap on Amazon. I'll have a link in the description for one if you want to try it out. I have one because I do hypoxic training. Also, I do it with Wim Hof method breathing. I do it with Buteyko breathing. Certain forms of pranayama also have this hypoxic aspect to it. When I teach breath work, I always add in some hypoxic training, even if we're not doing specifically athletes and things like that, because there's a lot of benefits to hypoxic training. Now, there's a lot of research that still needs to be done, but some of the benefits, of course, is that you have a more effective respiratory system. In many cases, it's been linked to lowering your blood pressure and having a overall beneficial effect on your immune system. And again, these things need to be researched more, and so that's why I'm not saying this is for sure things that you will always receive, but it is linked to a lot of these benefits that you can enjoy. And the one that's been practiced the most is its effect on the respiratory system. So with athletic endurance, with athletic performance, typically if you're practicing some form of hypoxic training, you're going to have better performance overall athletically. And so you'll see, of course, you might have a mask. That's fantastic. If you have the mask, you go work out, you're forcing your body, you're providing the stimulus, and you're saying, body, I want you to work just as hard, but I want you to be more effective with the oxygen that I take in. And whenever we do Wim Hof method breathing, when we do any form of hypoxic breath work, basically the goal here is to put ourselves into a state of intermittent hypoxia. Like I said, if you're hypoxic on a regular basis, that's not a good thing. That means that you're not getting enough oxygen to the blood vessels, into your brain, into your heart, and all over the place. But if you do it in an intermittent way, it's just like training. It's training anything else. You're weightlifting, or you're running, or doing whatever. You're not constantly doing that all day long. You're doing it in certain doses so that overall you experience all these health benefits. Now, when we get into Wim Hof method breathing, when you get into a lot of the hypoxic training styles of breathing, you're going to see that your oxygenation, a lot of people think about especially with Wim Hof method breathing, a lot of people think about how we over-oxygenate. But the thing that really is going to blow your mind, if you have a pulse oximeter and you watch how low, you're going to watch how low the oxygen content goes in your blood. And there's people that get it down to like 70, maybe even 60%. Oftentimes I get down into the 60s. Sometimes I've gotten it down to the 50s. That's very, very low. whenever you go to the doctor and they put it on your finger, it should be 90 or above. Typically it's 98, 99. You want that high that high amount of oxygenation in your blood. You want oxygen circulating to feed that mitochondria so that you have more cellular energy, so you can keep doing the things that you're doing and feeling good. But whenever we do intermittent hypoxia, we go really low. And the beauty is that over time, we generally see that you have these awesome benefits. And so you don't have to go to the mountain. You can bring the mountain to you using breath work. So again, this can be Wim Hof method. This can be Buteyko. Soma breathing is one that I've tried to. There's certain forms of pranayama. And really with pranayama, you can really make it, it's amazing how deep you can go with that. So that is what hypoxic training is. It's perfectly safe as long as it's intermittent, as long as you're not going your whole life, and you're breathing regular air. You should have 90 to 99% oxygenation. If you're experiencing hypoxia in regular air, then you're having a problem. And so we do intermittent hypoxic training to give our bodies that stimulus to become stronger, healthier, and more adaptive. All right, guys, so that is hypoxic training. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to go out there and be nice to people.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Pretty sweet snow angel.